My grace is sufficient for you. Grace is often described as the favor of God, which we do not merit or deserve. On another occasion, the Lord Jesus said to Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." So Paul was praying to God for having difficulty in his life removed. He prayed thrice. This man, through whom God had done many miracles, was given an emphatic no in answers to his prayer. But the real answer given was a greater lesson. It says, or Jesus said to Paul, "My grace is sufficient to you." Now, what does that mean? It means that God knows that we are weak vessels. He knows that we carry the treasures of God's wisdom in a jars of clay. We can be easily cracked and broke in a daily situation of life. We are bound to make mistakes in spite of our best efforts, and often we fail. Yet God does not give up on you and me. He looks ahead at what He is going to do in your life. He is never discouraged. His focus is in you crossing the finish line strong. So He gives you grace to stand under pressure. He brings consolation to your soul when you have great anxiety. He shapes your character when you pass through the troubles and difficulties. And you then emerge as gold passed and tested through the fire. When trouble sustains, God's grace sustains us all the more. When we are truly weak, our pride is kept in check, and God's power is perfected in us. In other words, we are kept humble and the more dependent to God. There is less burden on our hearts and mind this way than if we tried to live our lives in our own wisdom and strength. This is God's grace, the ability and enabling He gives us sufficient to meet our pressing needs. In other words, you will not lack the supply of His grace. He will hold you by His right hands. Yes, God's grace is sufficient for you and me. Let me end with these verses in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 to 10. It said, "But it said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insult, in hardship, in persecutions, difficulties, for when I am weak, then I am strong."